You got it, man. Well, guess what? It's time for us to transition a little bit now. And we're going to transition over to our featured trainer. That individual I tried to introduce a little bit ago before I was, getting a little twisted in my flow here. We've got a great trainer on board for you today. I mean, he's one of the top income earners. Actually, he was the grand champion of the 5-star winner circle contest, not just once, but the last 2 years. And we're so thrilled to have him with us because he has insights into how you can better build your business that a lot of times you just don't get unless you're talking to an individual who has tremendous experience in this area. So we're pretty jacked up about that. Thrilled to be able to introduce you to the man himself. It's none other than Mr. Michael Evans. So Michael Evans, man, that goes back a long time. Michael Huggins. It's the first day with a new tongue, everybody. I don't know what is going on here. Michael Huggins. So, buddy, come on out and share with us what's going on in your world.
Yes, sir. Hey, welcome everybody to the Founders Webinar. I'm excited to be here. And I got a training put together for you guys. So I'm going to share my screen now. And this is all about using our Renata system and making sure that we're maximizing what's being offered to us. I know some of you, this is your very first webinar with us. So congrats on being here. Just block it out. Make sure Mondays, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, you are just focused on this and don't let anything else distract you. And if you're returning and you're back again and again and again, well, good job. That consistency will pay off. I want to start out with a quote here. This is from Eleanor Roosevelt. She says, "It is not fair to ask of others what you are not willing to do yourself." And I think that speaks volumes for our organization, for the local leadership that we have down to at the community level, all the way up to the corporate level with the home team. And just this willingness to always work and do something bigger and better, and not just go out there and point, but here's what we know is that a leader knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. And that's what we want to be working on. So servant leadership, when we look around at the landscape that is Renatus, and we get to see all kinds of leaders all across the country working their butts off to make sure that our company, our businesses, our individual team members can also thrive and grow. For example, Gary and Sylvia Lawrence down in the Phoenix Scottsdale team, and what they've been able to accomplish in the last 6-7 years, growing this team of people from just a handful to hundreds and hundreds, meeting every single week, more house tours than you could fit on the calendar, and just their example to go out there and be a part of the real estate world. They're doing their own deals, as well as leading the charge with intensives and super Saturdays. Really grateful for their example of leadership. Same with James and Lisa and what they've done in the California region, all and up and down the West Coast, really, all the way to Portland and up into Seattle with what they're doing up in Spokane. And what they're able to do, it's impressive how they can have that work and play balance going on, and everything that they're asking people to do, of course, they've already done. Obviously, it's easy to point at Mr. Snyder with what he's done in his business in the past and what he's asking us to do. Of course, he's been there and done that. And then we jump over here to Richard Stock. I got the blacks over here in the top right with what they've been able to organize and get clear for people on how to leverage our other systems online, how to use the tools and processes. It's impressive. Richard Stock, I have a lot of gratitude for him because he's one of the guys that just showed me what it was like to get up early, stay up late, answer questions, just be willing to look like a fool out in front of people, because we know our message is important, and we know that what we're adding value to, how we're affecting people's lives, really does make a difference. And then people like Scott and Nancy Rowe, holy cow, where would our organization be without them? The tools and the processes, the daily calls that Scott does. And again, his example of his willingness to just be out in front and work. It's amazing to be able to link arms with people like this. And then we got Jay Stark, captain of the ship, making sure that everything is steering in the right direction. So grateful for his leadership and his willingness to just be out in front. And then Bobby T, man, we had such a blast last week. He came out to Denver for us, and this is actually his 5th time in 5 years he's been out here. Works all week, sacrifices his time and energy to make sure that our businesses are thriving. So this is a great group of people to link arms with, to listen, to lean on, and I'm really proud to be a part of this team. So the next thing I want to share with you is the common traits of a servant leader. They show up early. They stay late. It's not like, oh, it's 9 o'clock, I'm out of here. No, they stay late. They make sure that everyone's being taken care of. Willingness to do what others won't, right? I've seen so many times of people taking out the trash and cleaning the whiteboards and just running around putting clipboards and papers together. Like, we don't need the presenter to be doing that, yet here they are willing to do any and everything to make sure that everything is smooth. Consistent attendance at trainings. This is something I got to emphasize over and over and over. Super Saturdays, major key to your successful future, especially being a good example to your team. Super Saturdays is not something to miss. I've been to over 130 Super Saturdays now. For a while, I was doing 2 a month, one in Denver, one in Salt Lake. And it's just something you don't skip. I know every time there's something new, every time there's a gold nugget. So consistently attending your trainings. And then guess what? Answer your phone. Answer your phone. You're never too busy. Not for your team. You're never too busy. With this servant leadership mentality, you're able to answer the phone. Now, if we got to say, hey, call me back, or let's reschedule something, then by all means, let's do it. But being in communication is a major part of being a servant leader. And then stepping up to the challenge. When other people need help, when there's something else that just shows up that minute, that second, you're willing to step up and not try to shift responsibility or blame or whatever comes your way. It's just stepping up. And then being a good example of activity. And that's what I really want to focus on. I'm a good example to all of you watching this, and all of your team members and all of your guests and everyone else that's watching. I want to be that good example. And so does the PAC team. So this is what I'm working on. I have given myself a 30-day challenge, and we're doing it in the month of March. So I'm calling it our March Madness. This is something that if you like what you see and you're interested and you want to link arms with us and start your 30-day challenge with us, then take some notes here, because I'm going to go into detail about how this works and how you can stay laser focused with us as we go through this. So one thing you got to remember is success loves speed. Nobody got successful by just doing one little step at a time. You're going to get plowed over. It's the same thing with trying to think about a savings account and the interest rate you earn versus inflation. Like, cool, you could save money a little bit, but with what inflation's doing, it's going to eat it up. You got to do something massive. Speed. Success loves speed. You want to attract people with this burst of energy, this burst of work, and people are going to want to be around someone who's in that work and working that fast. So this slow to go, this steady Eddie thing, for most people, it doesn't really work that way. We don't want to have a 30-month challenge. We want a 30-day challenge. So what can we create inside of 30 days? So what I'm going to do is I've decided and I'm committed to enrolling 20 people in the next 30 days. Now, 20 people in Extreme Plus Combo, to be more specific, in the next 30 days. So I did an exercise. I did some math and I started breaking it down. What would that look like for me? And what would that look like for you if you were to enroll 20 people at Extreme Plus Combo, cash collected combos, and your 5-star? What would that look like? How much would you make up front? What you would make is $200,000. Now, some of you have never even imagined that much money or even set a goal to do that. And that's what would happen if you are 5-star and you sell 20 cash combos. Renatus is going to pay you $200,000. Now, that's definitely going to require focus and hard work and commitment for sure. So what do we focus on? Now, that's just our front level, 200,000. Now for bucket sales, let's say on average, only 1/3 of the people that you're going to enroll in those 20 decide to be a marketer and go on to be 5-star. So let's say 6 of them. 6 of them go on to be 5-star. They got to fill their bucket. So what is that worth to you? That's worth over another $100,000 just to help them get to the 5-star status that they want to achieve in this organization. And then overrides. What would it be worth to you just in overrides to have a focused 30-day activity where you enroll 20 people? The overrides could easily be another $50,000 a year just in overrides off of making a productive team. This is why I'm saying success loves speed. When you show these 20 people what it's like to focus and enroll and just be one-track mind, they're going to also get that good example. And so what would that be like for a rank advance? I know some of you are working towards being on the pit team. Some of you are working towards moving from the pit team onto the PAC. What does that work to you? I could tell you there's a very nice bonus that Mr. Snyder sets up for all of us who have achieved that pack status, and we got to earn it each month. We're helping to steer that ship and being involved, and you got to be a great example and earn that. So what would that be worth to you? Everyone's different there, so I'm gonna let you fill in the blank on that one. And then a positive example. Again, if you show someone on your team how to do a burst of 20 people in 30 days, and then you get 5 or 10 more people in a year to do that same burst, what is that worth? And just being a positive example there. And then the prestige and reputation, being recognized at nationals for the things you do, being able to be included in the 100K club, and different things that, I mean, last year we got to do a contest and go to London, England, and go with the CEO. That was incredible. So what is that also worth to you? When you really look at what you can get out of a focused 30 days and intentional activity, it's hard to count how much money it's really worth in this organization. So here's a few things of what it's going to take. If you really are going to do this with us, you got to get committed. And what commitment really means is it's a 100% commitment. All right. It's this attitude of, I don't care what it takes. I don't care what gets in my way. I don't care who says no, or I don't care how painful or uncomfortable it gets. I'm going to do this for 30 days, no matter what. That's the kind of commitment I'm talking about. Now, with clearing your schedule, this is something that you're going to have to get prepared for. What are you willing to sacrifice over the next 30 days? I know too many people are watching TV, idle surfing on the internet, right? What does Rob Sperry say? He calls it scroll patrol, right? On Facebook, you're just scrolling. You're not contributing. You're not adding to your groups. You're not making posts. You're just on scroll patrol. Cut that out for the next 30 days, right? Binge watching TV series. Come on. I thought we'd been over that, but I know people are still doing it. What else could you cut out? Stop watching sports. Maybe don't go to the movies for 30 days and just stay focused. Give up a little bit of sleep, right? Half an hour, get up early, stay up another half an hour. You got yourself an hour every day to work. So clear your calendar. And then you have to negotiate with your family and what that looks like. You know, when I decided to do this, I had to go to Vanessa and say, hey, look, sweetheart, for the next 30 days, I'm not walking the dog. That's a distraction. And I need to negotiate with her on that and say, look, these are the other things that if I'm going to stay focused and do this type of work, here's how you can support me. I talked to my mom too. My mom wanted to come visit in the month of March, come hang out for a week in Denver. And I called her and I said, you know what? Not in March. You can come to Denver, but we're not hanging out. I'm locking myself in an office and I'm working. So I had to negotiate with my mom and be like, look, why don't we do this after nationals? Let's spend that time. So you have to also negotiate. I know that sometimes your spouse or your significant other has maybe seen you say you're going to work and you're going to do this thing for 30 days, 90 days, whatever, and then you fall flat and maybe they're not as supportive. Well, get with them and get clear. Say, hey, look, I know maybe I didn't complete what I said I would in the past, but this time I'm serious. Will you be the wind behind my back, not in my face? And will you support me for this next 30 days while I stay focused? I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out the time. I'm going to figure out my schedule. I'm going to do it. So eliminate those distractions, negotiate with your family. And as far as the time goes, here's something you need to plan on. If you are part-time, you say you still got a full-time job every day. If you're part-time with Renatus, then I recommend 6 to 8 hours a day for this next 30-day challenge, 5 or 6 days a week. Right. So when you get off of work, you're just back into this mode. This is the second thing that you're doing. This is what's taking your focus. So 6 to 8 hours a day for the next 30 days. This is something you could definitely do. You take one day off, right, for your spiritual health, for your well-being, take a little rest, but then you're right back at it. You're right back at it. And if you're full-time like I am, and this is the only thing that I'm doing, except for some real estate stuff, but even my real estate, I'm pausing for 30 days. It's 12 to 16 hours a day. 12 to 16 hours a day. And if you think about how many people you could actually talk to in 12 hours, when you stay focused, even if they were just half-hour presentations over a Zoom webinar like this, you could get 24 done in a day. So I'm going to break down a few of those numbers too. But this is something that I'm saying, this is not 2 to 3 hours if you're doing the 30-day challenge with us. You're doing 10, 12, up to 16 hours a day, 8 a.m. to midnight. Let's get this going. Something else is if you already have a team, you're going to need to let them know up front For the next 30 days, you're on your own. So I called all my 5 stars here in Denver and I said, hey, look, I got your back. I'm in it to win it. But for these next 30 days, if you need a follow-up done, you're going to have to do it yourself because I'm focusing and I'm doing this. And I made it clear with my existing team, except for, of course, the people who got bucket sales. That's part of my 30-day focus. They're going to have to just plug into the nationwide support, all the other group stuff that they have, the weekly stuff. I mean, there's plenty of support. They're going to be fine without me. But definitely let your existing group know. Get yourself a fresh list. What I'm going to be working on is people's top 25. Well, we've told everyone, and if you've watched your 10-step training, you definitely know this, and you've probably already done it, is your list of 200 people. You're going to narrow it down to your top 25. Now, this top 25, so I'm clear, is the top 25 people you want to be in business with, not 25 people you think will buy a combo. We're not doing that. Top 25 people you want to be in business with. And I'll show you how this will work. I got a script at the end of this so you can take some screenshots. And then sharpen your skills. Get with a buddy, focus for a little bit, do some role playing. Here's what I'm going to say. Here's what you're going to say. And just sharpen those skills a little bit. All right, a couple hours of that and boom, let's hit the phones. Let's do this. Be prepared with your stuff. Have a phone charger. Have your computer charger. Make sure you got your all the links that you're going to need. We're going to be sending out webinars to people, so make sure you got the freshest links. Make sure you know where all the events are in the calendar and you're registering your guests. I mean, like, be prepared with the tools, right? Okay, so here's what a 30-day schedule looks like. This is something that took me a while to understand, but now that I've got it dialed in, this is working for me. You're going to have to pick a start date. I don't care when it is, just pick a 30-day window and do it. My 30-day window is starting February 29th, right? It's our leap year. I'm leaping forward with this new challenge. So here's what it looks like for a 30-day schedule. Now, I want to be clear. I have done this 2 times in my Renata's career. I did it once in 2012, and I did this once in 2015. And each time I did it, I got a huge jump in income, and then my overrides were a lot higher. My average earnings was a lot higher. And so I looked at the results and I went, you know what? It's definitely worth another 30-day focused burst of doing this. So here's what it looked like. Your first 10 days. The first 10 days is we are focusing massive focus on contacting, inviting, setting appointments, and that initial exposure, right? That the B in our BIF system and the I in the BIF system. Making sure that we are doing our butts and seats activity. First 10 days, that's all we're talking about. Just butts and seats, find appointments, book them, book the appointments. And like I said, from 8 a.m. to midnight, we're texting, we're calling, we're emailing, we're hitting up our responded leads. This 10 days is massive contacting, okay? Next 10 days, your second 10 days it's now a shift of energy. Instead of contacting, now we're doing presentations. Now we're doing 3-way calls. Now we're doing Zoom webinars. Now we're doing the F part of the BIF system, the follow-up webinar, where it goes into the Q&A, where people are hearing stories of other people's successes. So the second 10 days is story mode and a BAM fam. You guys remember what a BAM fam means? It means always book a meeting from a meeting, always. So as soon as you hang up with that phone, before you hang up, you booked up another appointment, then you hang up and you call your next person. So you can get your Zoom account, you can get a free Zoom account and do 40-minute Zoom webinars for free, as long as you want. Make sure you let them know that you're going to keep it to 30, 40 minutes. So when it cuts off, nobody's surprised. Okay. Or pay $15 and get the paid membership, and you can have unlimited webinars as much as you want. Another thing here in this is building for Mark Kohler's National Intensive on March 7th and telling the story of what it's like to save in taxes, telling the story of what it's like to have a competent CPA and legal team. Tell those stories, build for events, and keep telling more stories. Now, our third 10-day burst of activity, our focus here is on helping people make a decision. Okay, there's going to be 2 groups of questions that people have. One group of questions is training questions, like how does a short sale work, or what's a fix and flip like, or tell me more about velocity banking. Those are going to be answered in the training, and you got to enroll to get those answers. The other questions are, well, how do I pay for it? And what's included? And what does my fast start look like? And what else do I get? Those kind of questions. We love those questions. Those are the buying questions. Well, in fact, we like them all. But you need to split that and be like, all right, well, these are training questions. And it sounds like if you don't have any more questions about the program, let's just get you into the training. What's your credit card number? We'll get you set up. And all those questions will be answered for you in the training. We are helping people make a decision. It's time to focus. They've seen the briefing. They've seen the intro. They've been to the follow-up. They heard the stories. They heard your story, my story, the company's story, other stories we've used. It's now decision time. Now, mostly what it comes down to is the funding. And so we focus on that, get them into Get Fund Online, billing, 401ks, IRAs. There's plenty of ways to do it, but that last 10-day period is what we're focusing on. It's funding time. It's orders in, and it's funding time. So I know we're a little over time, so I'm going to end with this last script, and then we're out of here. So when you do those 3-way calls, here's a very simple approach to this. One key that I do is no matter what, when I'm starting my call session for the day, I write out the 4 core beliefs, whether it's on the whiteboard or just on my sheet of paper, back of an envelope, I don't care, but I write them out and I get back into my zone. Okay, so in case you don't know, Renatus is the best income opportunity in the country. Everyone needs Renatus. I'm doing you a favor, and it's your loss if you say no, but it's also your gain when you say yes. We'll make that list of 200. Top 25, we'll do a 3-way call, and then the 3 C's of contacting are compliment, create curiosity, and get a commitment. So when I'm going to be doing this next week, when I got my 3-way call set up with my ICM, let's say the ICM is now booked out that 25, and we're just going to start calling. And the ICM says, hey, Chuck, did I catch you at a good time? Well, here's the reason why I'm calling. And now notice I didn't put a space between I'm calling and I've been. You know why? That's on purpose. Don't pause. Don't take a breath. Just blur right through the words. Here's the reason why I'm calling. I've been hanging out with someone for a while who's crushing it in real estate. Right now I'm talking to him, and he's talking about how he's expanding. He asked me, who do you know that has a great head on their shoulders, a great work ethic, and a great attitude? I thought of you. I hope you don't mind, but I got Michael on speakerphone, or I got Michael on the line with us. I'd love to introduce you. Michael says, Chuck, this is Michael. So there's no spaces right there on the line with us. I'd love to connect you. Just say the whole thing. No pausing. And then Michael says, Chuck, this is Michael. Then you sit back. That's all you got to do. And then as the 5-star, here's what we say. Hey, I realize we've caught you off guard. It was a spur of the moment thing. Your friend was just saying some great things about you, and it was me that asked you to call. And make sure that you remind it and you say out loud, hey, it's my idea for you guys to call. Because I don't really know where you're at in life and in business, and maybe you're making more money than you can spend and you're really happy. So I'll just briefly describe what we do. We're real estate investors. We're crushing on the residential side, the commercial side. We're doing wholesaling, rentals. We got land. We've got a great business. Have you ever thought of investing in real estate? And then we just start right there. We listen for a pain point. We build for an event. We tell a story. Then we build for another event. We get that commitment, and we're off the phone. That commitment could either be, sure, I'll watch that webinar, or sure, I'll come down next week, or sure, I'd love to do another Zoom call like this where I can focus on what you're saying. And we get that commitment. We get off the phone, and we're back on the next call. And then all we do is the same thing again. Hey, Chuck, did I catch you at a good time? Boom, boom, boom. Next thing. We booked the appointment. Build for events, follow up. Nationals is going to be amazing. I got to see some sneak peek stuff. I'm really excited about what's going to be happening there. You got to be there. You got to make it. You got to call in well, call in sick. I don't care what you do, but get your butt to nationals. It's going to be worth it. So thanks for the opportunity to train, guys and gals. So glad you guys hopped on here. And I really hope you guys share this training with your teammates, with everyone else that's involved, because they need to hear it too. It's not just about you, but what we can do as a team. Thank you.
Michael, my friend, you are an absolute rock star, and that was a great training. What a great training. I mean, and it's something that everybody can do and everybody should be doing. I mean, to get right out of the gate as fast as you possibly can, talk to the people that you know. Let's get them exposed to what we've got going on here at Renatus, because the folks you don't contact can't help you. Just like the events you don't attend can't help you. Get registered for the national conference. Take to heart the things that Mr. Michael Huggins just shared with you, and we will see you at the top. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Good day, and God bless.